Make journaling sexy again.
Pretty, there you go.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Make
Yeah.
journaling sexy again. But instead, we just use it for Facebook. Honestly, that's
Right.
you gotta get that old school notebook and just get in that mud and just start writing.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of came under attack with the idea of somebody hacking your diary in like the 90s. Remember that? Like, don't read my diary, don't read your sister's diary. You know what I mean?
I I know what you're talking about. That
Yeah,
was the little like every TV show that was like an episode back in our back in our damn bro, we're old. But
I
back
know.
in our day, like that was a thing. Like you
It was
had
a
if it was
trope,
the
totally.
90s, yeah, it was a trope. It was a trope. And I think that's great because we got to see a resurgence. I don't I keep a journal. I'm on and off with it. Like, do you keep a journal?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What kind of things do you journal?
I journal I journal about things that I think I'm sure about recently. I typically would journal about like daily experiences and stuff, and that came to be a little bit too routine, and so it kind of lost its special
Mm,
character as like an activity. But more recently, I've been kind of like, okay, hold on, let me pull back and let me actually, I want to feel like I'm writing a book. So I got one of those like leather bound journals, and
mm.
I I'm paying a little bit more attention to like my handwriting through this activity more recently. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit more first principles kind of journaling in a way. So it's not like writing my thoughts. It's like I want to be able to catalog what's you know I guess a priori deducible. Does that make sense?
I will say that last word. I would have to Google it. Please,
Yeah,
please introduce
yeah.
me to a new word.
Okay, okay. No, so yeah, like so I guess on the second half of my college career, I wound up, thinking I'm like, I want to kind of like I was going for biology and
Hmm.
I wanted to do something that wasn't so, rigid. I wanted to be able to have like, like a freedom of thought. Like I wanted to have a discipline where there wasn't a whole lot of doctrine, you know? And so,
Mm.
and the sciences are very much like that, like, I mean, I took I took an oceanography course, and it was so environmentalist, and that's not bad, but it really makes certain questions not okay to ask, and that was something that was very obvious, and it was like that kind of, you know, you're reminded like it's a story. Uh-oh. Hold on. Do I need to mute?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Okay.
As long as you can hear. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So, but yeah, and yeah, so I wanted to, take some philosophy courses and kind of, round out what was okay to think about, and so, I wound up getting subjected to like just a lot of like, like if you go to any, like run a Google search, what are the top philosophy books that are, mandatory reading for some, a lot of times like you'll come across, different authors and stuff, and they'll use like a lot of these old phrases, and within like metaphysics, one of them is like what is a priori. So it's basically what you have before like you start in a way. So
Hmm.
like a baby's a priori knowledge would be, for example, well, I exist, right? Like that, I think, therefore I am. So that would like the fact that you are there thinking is already a given. I guess it's kind of like in geometric proofs where you've got your, I forget the word for what it is, like when you start like a geometric proof, but like your givens.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's basically if you have side A, side B, you can find the hypotenuse. It's
Yes. Yes.
and I think you're talking about Dakar. I think that's
Yep.
Dakar.
Yep.
And it's crazy because when I sit in my when I have the podcast, I have I'll keep a notepad just in case like thoughts pop through and I'm trying to put them down so I don't like blur them out because the ADD does flow. But um but like on the flip side of this tablet, it's literally one. There was a day where I woke up and I started going like, okay, so what matters? And I started writing it down. And I kept going, okay, health. Health matters because if you run out of health, you can't play the game. And then the other one that I started touching on was okay, freedom. If you don't have freedom, you're gonna sacrifice your health to obtain it. And it's just sitting down and playing around with those thoughts to help you figure out what matters to you so you can progress forward. And then not only that, just grasping the spectrum in a whole because what was that? There was it's crazy how people have all done these things before us prior to this. And are you familiar, are you big on Marvel comics at all?
Yes. No, absolutely. The idea of like the modern superhero is like this externalization of whatever human condition is, magnified for like the time. I mean, all these Marvel comics, like, is post World War II, like,
Hmm.
archetypes. Big into it. Keep going.
So the part that I want to magnify was the Infinity Stones and how they literally capture every aspect of life.